Welcome to the Old Loomis channel again. I want to talk a little bit real quick about Maglite switches. For anybody who's using a stock switch, there's been a lot of discussions about how much resistance is in these switches and what you can do with them. Also, how you go about modifying the switch to be able to be used in a modified Maglite. I've stripped apart this switch. This is the housing, and there's a pedestal where the bulb would go, or bulb holder if you want to call it that. But anyways, that's going to get cut off flush. We're not going to use it at all. When we're done with it, it'll be like this. Okay, that's all cut off, ready to go. The switch itself, of course, sets down into the housing. Sure it does, like that. Okay, sets down in place, and then you have a back contact and front contact normally. Now the thing is, here you can see that the switch itself is showing right here, and if you wire to the switch, this is what you're talking about. You would take and solder a wire directly to that contact, and then that would go through the front opening and out to your LED for the positive. Okay. For the negative, you just utilize the original negative. There's a set screw here, and that's a negative contact, and you would utilize that. Just slide it through, cut it off, and solder a wire to it, and then you still use the stock negative contact. Okay. But the switch itself is some concern because it has a lot of resistance, so I'm going to pull the switch apart here. And the bottom section is just spring. Okay. Not going to worry about that at all. We're really concerned about this section here. The reason they say a Maglite has so much resistance is because you got basically 4 sets of contact. You have the plate here that the battery touches up against, and that touches against this contact here. Then you have the contact ring in the center, so that touches there, that's 2. You have the contact ring on the other side touching against this contact here, so that's 3, and then 4 would be the contact that goes to the bulb. So there's 4 contacts rather than 2, and that's what people talk about when they say there's so much resistance in them. What I do with these things, what a lot of people do is they use deoxit. Okay, deoxit is fantastic. Deoxit gold is fantastic, and it costs about as much as gold. Okay. I don't buy deoxit because it's too expensive. Can't afford to do that stuff. Can't afford to do it on a mod. You can spend an extra $5 just putting deoxit on it. What I do is, for this ring, okay, I take and use an eraser, and I clean that ring all up with an eraser, okay, all the way around. And I even take an eraser and hit the contact points, okay, clean them up too, and hit them with an eraser. If I'm going to use my stock pieces here, I'm also going to hit them with an eraser where they're going to touch. Okay. Then I'm going to do something a little crazy. I'm going to take a pencil. See, that's why I got my pencil. I got the eraser on one end, and I got my little magic on the other end. I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to rub my pencil lead on it. Okay. And get it all filled up with pencil lead there, real nice. And I'm going to do that in all the contacts. The reason I do the pencil lead is because basically it's a, you know, it's a conductor of electricity, and a fairly good one. It stays on the contacts pretty well, and it's freaking cheap. Okay, graphite. If you actually get some graphite, you could rub graphite onto it, because that's basically what we're doing. But that's just a little trick that I use, and God knows if it's a good trick to show you or not. But it's a cheap way to cut down some of the resistance on these Maglite switches. So that's the end of the story. Thanks.